Hello everybody, this is my WWE Judgment Day 2009 review. Let's get straight into... Oh, before I get straight into it, I'll say my New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 3 review is coming. Just wait a little bit longer. I've been doing something special with it. Kind of, sort of, maybe. I don't know, depends on your perception. Let's get underway with the WWE Judgment Day 2009 review. We started off with Umaga vs CM Punk. Bleh, hair in my mouth. I didn't know who to expect to win because, maybe Punk because, he's Money in the Bank winner, blah, blah, blah. Umaga because, he just returned. So it was a bit of a toss-up with that. But the match itself was quite good. It was a typical WWE match. I expected them to go to a bit faster of a pace, but they didn't. Punk was a little bit sloppy with some of his kicks. But the finishing sequence was really good. And the match itself, there was really good transitioning spots, and the crowd was into it. So 3 stars for that. And Umaga won, just so you know. So spoilers, which was the thing I expected less than Punk winning, but I wasn't really too upset with that outcome in terms of booking. Future booking and stuff. I wasn't too upset. Doesn't mean that I don't think it's wrong or anything. I'm rambling. Christian versus Jack Swagger for the ECW Championship. This match was really good. This was a match with very few rest holds, which was nice to see. They kept the action flowing nicely. And the story that was told here was a story that had been told previously, which was Jack Swagger went to cheat a certain way, and Christian just cheated the same way and just did it better than Jack Swagger could. And that was the thing. But it was a really good match with some really good spots in it. A lot of energy, and the crowd was into it, so 3.25 stars for that. Next we had John Morrison versus Shelton Benjamin in a singles match. They'd had some matches previously. I was kind of expecting Shelton Benjamin to win, but he didn't. John Morrison won, but the match was very good. They tried a lot of spots that you don't usually see in the WWE. John Morrison continuing his trend of doing some some more complex moves that you wouldn't see from the usual superstars, such as a 450 splash to the outside. I can't remember the name of it, the lucha move into a side Russian leg sweep. Somebody, if you know the move, please leave it in the comments. It really would be appreciated, because if you don't tell me, I'm not going to learn. If you don't correct me, that is. But yeah, John Morrison won, and it was a really fun match to watch. 3.25 stars for that, but it does get a bit off of it because the crowd was a bit dead at the start, and some moves weren't necessarily botched in a major way. They just weren't executed really good. The match itself was good. It's just the execution of some of the moves wasn't perfect, so there is that. Next we had a Miz promo, which I felt went on a bit too long with him getting cheap heat. I thought it would just be him getting cheap heat and then him leaving. But Santino came out, and that was pretty fun. And they had a bit of a spate. And, I guess Santina is a heel, but Santino is a face. I don't know. But yeah, it was really funny, and Santino got a pretty big pop for some of the jokes he made and things he said. But then the Miz beat him down and hit him with a DDT, and then Chavo came out, so obviously talking about a feud between Chavo and, hinting at the feud between Chavo and Santino, because Santino and Santino are the same person, I don't know what to say about that. Then we had Rey Mysterio versus Chris Jericho for the Intercontinental Championship. This match was probably the match I was looking forward to the most, as Chris Jericho had apparently requested this match from WWE officials, or this program, to work with Rey Mysterio. So I thought Jericho, having a history of working lucha style in Mexico, I thought they'd be able to work pretty well. And Jericho did pull out some of those moves. The spinning torture rack thing is a more lucha move. There was some really good transitional, reversal spots and things like that. The crowd was really into it. While it was a very pro Chris Jericho crowd, they weren't anti Rey Mysterio, which is something I noticed. Because usually you get people booing Rey Mysterio and cheering the heel. Obviously the crowd was very pro a lot of the heels on this show, but they were pretty into Rey Mysterio as well, who once again touched children, I should point out. But yeah, this was a really good match, really high-paced. I mean, I really enjoyed this and probably is my match of the night. I probably can't talk about it a bit more than I would like to because I'm, only have a certain amount of time. So 4 stars for that, just 4. Just scraped in with the 4 because the crowd was so hot when Chris Jericho locked in the walls, or was putting in the walls Jericho. But yeah, it was, and I was actually quite excited, and I was sitting forward and really into what was going on, which doesn't happen with me often. Usually I can get into it, but I'll be sitting back relaxed. But this got me on the edge of my seat. Yeah, I enjoyed it. 4 stars, as I said. Next match, we had Batista versus Randy Orton, and I nearly missed this match because I went to have a piss. That's how much I cared about the Raw matches. Batista versus Randy Orton and John Cena versus Big Show. I wasn't too interested in them, the booking leading up to them and the storylines and all that kind of stuff. But Batista Randy Orton, I mean, it wasn't a bad match. It definitely wasn't my favourite match on the card. But it wasn't a bad match. 2.5 stars. The thing I found funny was Randy Orton was dominating Batista, and then you had Randy Orton trying to get himself disqualified. But I guess it kind of made sense if, you could have Batista making a bit of a comeback and Randy Orton afraid of Batista's momentum. And then you had Randy Orton slapping the ref and getting himself DQ'd. Then you had Legacy come out and they did a beatdown. And then Ric Flair came out and everyone was like, "Oh, Flair!" Ah. So that kind of made up for the shitty finish. So yeah, 2.5 stars for the match. Next up, we had John Cena versus the Big Show in. Another thing I should say about this card is there was no gimmick matches or no tag matches. It was all just singles matches for titles or not titles, and it turned out very well actually. Anyway, John Cena versus the Big Show. This match at the start I was quite bored with. But as it went on, I became more and more interested, even though I was slow-paced. And the story was John Cena was trying to lock in the STFU. Couldn't do it because Big Show was too big, and he kept trying. And then eventually had to beat the Big Show with the FU, and that was the story going into the match. And I thought it was good. I thought the match itself was better than what I expected. I thought it to be a lot worse, but the crowd was into this match. They weren't too into John Cena, but they were into the match, so 2 3/4 stars. I liked it more than Batista versus Randy Orton, but as I said, Batista versus Randy Orton wasn't a bad match, and neither was this one. Just a bit boring, a bit bland, but not bad. Then we had Edge versus Jeff Hardy for the World Heavyweight Championship. This match wasn't the best match they've had, but it doesn't mean it was a bad match. It just means it wasn't the best match they had. It was a bit slow at the start, and Edge did a weird submission hold with his head in the middle of Jeff's back and the arms, and then Jeff did a really bad sharpshooter at some point in the match. But other than that, the match was pretty good with... One thing, Todd Grisham really annoyed me in this match because Jeff was running along the guardrail, and and Edge speared him off of it, and Todd Grisham speared him from 7 feet high. That's not 7 feet, that's 3 feet, okay? That's like the worst exaggeration I've ever heard. So yeah, Todd Grisham, thumbs down. Had to get that on camera. Then we had later on the other side of the ring on the guardrail, Jeff had done a leg lariat to Edge over the guardrail, and as Jeff was climbing back in, Matt hit him with his cast and pulled the guard padding down. And Matt was trying to hide, but it fell down, and then it showed Matt sitting there hiding. So it was quite funny, because obviously that wasn't meant to happen. Match ended pretty clean with Edge getting a DDT off the top rope, the execution off the top rope. Yeah, so 3.5 stars for that match. I guess the Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy feud is continuing. So there is that. Yeah, 8 out of 10 for the pay-per-view, because there really wasn't anything bad on it. Not that I can think of. There wasn't anything that really took away from the pay-per-view in a major way. Everything was pretty solid and consistent, and I enjoyed it. So 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and die.